This is destabilizing disability, and we are home but not bound. We are chronically at home, bound, chronically homebound, chronically home but not bound. We're at home, and we're going to show you what we do when we're a little bit more homebound because of my health, but how we still make it a lot of fun, or at least to us. This is what we consider fun. Welcome to Destabilizing Disability, and this is called Chronically Fun. For me, being chronically ill often means having fun with things that are a lot lower energy. So, bowling, not fun for me. I can barely pick up that ball. And if you've been bowling with me before, please know that afterwards I was done. Could not move. My arm is broken. I don't, but I'm a great bowler. Turkeys all around. Anyways, I. All I can remember is the first time we went bowling together and you were like, you've been bragging about bowling for years. And then we went and I got like a 0. I got nothing. I didn't get one pin down the whole game.
Yeah, that was very eye-opening as far as how much I could trust your word.
I know. That was after we were married. Did you feel bamboozled? Did you feel swindled?
I felt something. I felt like a turkey.
Oh my word. Anyways, so especially since my health has gone up and down since we've gotten married, we've wanted to find ways that we can still have fun and enjoy our lives, but without bowling balls because they're too heavy. Going out and getting in the car is one of my big triggers. So I don't necessarily want to go to the movies or, go shopping, go to anything where I have to go somewhere. It doesn't sound like fun for me. It's going to be more of a painful experience and more of a very high stress experience. I'm going to have to bring a lot of things with me just to keep me somewhat. It's not fun. That is not fun for me. What is fun? Video games. Video games are extremely fun. I don't know if you've ever played one. They're great. Highly recommend. 5 stars. A million stars out of 5 stars. I could not recommend them enough. One of the greatest things that my husband ever did is buy me a Switch. Because this thing is amazing. I don't have to lift my head to play it. It's very lightweight. I can hold this. And especially if I'm in bed laying against something. You see this? This is a real live demonstration of how my life could be. Cute little things. I love this thing. I love this thing so much. So much. And he got it in one of our favorite colors. In case you can't tell, it's blue. Anyways. And when it comes to video games, there are games that have a little bit more higher intensity, like the Wii, anything with the movement things. There are other ones like that. I don't know what they're called because I'm not.
Oh, you're thinking of like how the Xbox had Kinect and the PlayStation had, I think it was basically just I don't know what it was called, something specific, but it was very similar-ish to the Wii. Like you had like little, like how the Wii has the nunchucks and stuff, and the Wiimote, it had something similar-ish to that. They have like balls on them or something too. Is the weird thing.
Yeah, I don't know. And I'm a big PlayStation fan, but not with that. I said, excuse me, copycat, but straight copy. Like, make it better. If you're going to copy, make it better. Improvements, but copycat. Anyways, it's neither here nor there. Anyways, so there are things that are more higher intensity like that. We do also have the Wii. This game is now pretty old, I think. But when this came out, I thought I was going to spontaneously combust if it didn't show up in my hands and in my fingertips immediately. This was like everything that I ever waited for. And I can tell you, over 15 years later, it was worth it. It was worth the wait. Well, I mean, I got it when I was 15, so, but it's still just as good. It's still amazing. I love this thing. And this is great because on days that I have bigger, higher energy, I do play things like is it Dance Dance Revolution? Just Dance.
Right. Yeah, the Just Dance. Yeah.
Love Just Dance. I Just Dance and Dance Dance Revolution with the little pads. And I would play with the pads or with the remote control. I felt like a cheater playing it with the remote control, but at some point I did like the hardest songs on the hardest levels, and so I thought I was amazing. I thought I had I had beat life because I did that. I was like, my finger dexterity is beyond anyone else's. I could be a surgeon, is what I was thinking. Anyways, I was young. So my pad, I don't know what happened. I don't know if they stopped working or if I let someone borrow them. Either way, here I am in my 30s. Borrow. Here I am in my 30s, and I no longer have those little pads, and I no longer have my PlayStation. So I don't have my DDR, but I want it back. As soon as my legs are at the standard to play Dance Dance Revolution, it's on. I'm going to GameStop or wherever those places. I don't even think GameStop really exists that much anymore, but wherever I need to go, eBay, I'm going. I will find Dance Dance or DDR. I will rule again.
Yeah, GameStop is a thing still, just so you know. I mean, I personally don't care for it. I used to love going to GameStop, but after a while, like they started not carrying as many of the older things, including even just things. Well, they might still have PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 1. I'm not 100% sure. But they stopped carrying a lot of that retro stuff and only focused on like the newer stuff, which is fine. But it's like I tend to actually go back more towards the retro or even semi-retro now, like we were just talking about Wii, PlayStation 2, those systems even. And if they don't carry those anymore, peace out, I'm done. Which we have a local place now that does carry those things. It does carry like a lot of actually retro stuff and then some. And I love that place because even just to look around, like just looking around there is fun. They have some of the special consoles and stuff, like or special edition consoles and stuff that people will bring in. They even have ones that are like modded systems that people have brought in that is pretty cool. So yeah, I always thought that was fun to do.
Yeah. I like going there. I've only gone there with you like twice, but fun times. It's nice too because that is one of the closest places. We live in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing near our house for like 20, 30 minutes, but we have one of those places that's like 10 minutes away.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they're so close to our house, but thank goodness. Um, because what a fun little outing and what a fun little place to stop by on the way home as a little treat. To be like, you know what, let's take a walk down memory lane / what else is new that we want to get later. Maybe leave with something. I don't know.
That's actually where I got one of your other gifts for your Switch because I had saved up some store credit there, and that's where I got your last anniversary gift for you to play the Kirby game.
Yes, a new game that I beat within 3 days. Anyways, pros and cons. Pros and cons of something like the Wii. For me, there are pros to using both hands and learning, what is it called? Like how to work on your, thing.
Coordination?
Yeah, like there's benefits mentally with focus and things. So if you might have like some focus issues, some brain fog, some ADHD, sprinkle that in. Then brushing your teeth with your non-dominant hand can strengthen something in the brain. Google it. But I like to say I'm doing the same thing by playing the Wii with my non-dominant hand, and play that little game where you like it's like target practice, and you're like and seeing how good I can get with both of my hands, especially for me because I have quite drastic differences on each side of my body versus my left versus my right, of mobility, strength, dexterity, all of it. So, and that's not great. I don't recommend that. So trying to work on that all the time in big ways and little ways. And this is a big and little way. Also, I can play this in my bed and I can just do, right?
Yeah, for the most part.
Or I can put on Just Dance and get out of my bed and just dance. Does it usually end in me falling to my bed and not being able to breathe for 20 minutes? Yes, it does. But it's fun. I used to have more endurance doing that kind of stuff. I don't play it as much because right now I don't have as much endurance for anything like that, but I've been working on it, and I think that I could do it now. So that's on my list of things to do this week. Very important. It's a priority. Playing Just Dance.
Yeah, the funny thing is I mean, granted there are some games like I would play like the Wii Sports and stuff like that on there. Um I don't know. I feel like even with those kinds of games on there, I tended to play more of the games that you needed like a controller with, you know? I've just been more of like a if I'm going to play a game for the most part, I'm going to use a controller. Although we've had some friends that have like what is it called, the Oculus or something like that. Um
I thought it was the Quest.
Maybe it's the Quest. There's a few things like that I think that are like that. Um and they've had that and I've tried that and I have liked that. Like it's like, that virtual reality but you are moving and stuff and you can do things like the dancing one that they get you moving. Like I was sweating when we played it over at the other at our friend's house. That was a lot and I was quite surprised. I probably did more with that as far as exercise wise than I ever have with the Wii, despite the fact that it's supposed to be movement like that with the Wii and you're supposed to be getting like the exercise. That was one of the whole points was that you still get some kind of exercise even if you're playing a video game. At least I thought that was the point.
I don't know what the point is, but you did sweat a lot.
There's a point. I did. I did sweat a lot. It was a lot. I felt really bad because it was all up in that mask thing. I'm pretty sure she had to wipe it out. I felt so horrible.
I didn't realize that. I should have wrote them a sorry card. Thanks for letting us play your game. Please don't unfriend us.
And then write a PS. But thank you. It was very effective.
Lost 5 pounds. No. Yeah, so Oculus, pretty cool, or Quest or whatever. We don't have one at the moment. Maybe we will get one. I haven't played it. Pros and cons with something like that with the movement is you don't have to have a TV. You can do it anywhere. You do need some space. Mm-hmm. You do need some space. And then I don't know, I didn't even think like, can you play it in bed? Can you do things like if I have low energy, how low movements are going to still pick up?
You could. It just really depends on what you're playing because like there's a few different kinds of games, but some do require you to at least do some kind of steps and stuff in place because like that's the thing is like there's usually a parameter or perimeter or whatever you would call it, and then you just have to stay within that perimeter, which is I feel like could be a thing for you. I mean, it has been kind of for me when using that stuff because sometimes you do go outside of that and you have to be careful because you could just run into something. I've seen so many videos of people like, or they get too into it and then they start to think it's real and then they like run into the wall or the TV or something. I don't think that would happen with either of us, but more, or at least not like that. Like we might just because we might lose our placing, we might just kind of gradually move closer and closer to something unintentionally. And then we just got close enough to where now whatever movement we are doing hits it. But I don't think we would just like straight run into something or anything like that.
What I'm hearing from you is that you think neither of us have good spatial awareness. And I don't disagree. So anyways, pros and cons, I don't know. And I haven't personally played it, so I can't rate it but so much. I assume it's great, and I will play it one day. We'll see. But if you don't want, I see this is the thing. I don't want to be required to take any steps. I've also heard that it makes people nauseous. It made you nauseous the very first time that you played it at the store when you tried it. Do you remember that? Don't actually answer. Anyway, I remember because I wanted to go to Red Robin's and I waited forever for you because you were nauseous.
Are you talking about when I did that with your brother? That wasn't that though. I thought that was something else. And it was like, but I think I do remember what you're talking about, and that was kind of lame. But I think it was also what we were doing, and it was like, I don't know, it was different than just doing it at home. Like it was like they had you in a rig and everything, I think.
Oh wow, I did not realize that. I just remember I was waiting for you at Red Robin's and you came and you were like dead to the world. And we had an hour drive home, still dead to the world. You were just like, the thing made me so nauseous. And I was like, nausea? That's a no for me. I'll never play that. Whatever it was. And I haven't. So anyways,
Yeah, yeah. I don't think you'd have to worry about that because like the last couple times I've played it, both with my friend and then your friends, it was fine. Like I didn't get nauseous from it. I don't think at all, if I remember correctly.
well, that's good. So maybe one day. And then I'll be able to give it 5 stars. I don't know. How many stars would you give it?
I mean, I'd give it like an 8 at least.
I thought we were doing a 5 star basis here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Out of 5 stars, I did not hear that part. Out of five, I'd give it at least a 4 for sure.
Okay. Well, there you have it. 4 stars.
Maybe 4.5. I would say, and that's not so much like if there were other things in place, like if you could have like one of those really crazy rigs where they have things now where they give you like a platform that moves with you. Like think Ready Player One, but you know what I mean? Like something along those lines. Like you can like it's like a what do you call it? A treadmill, but like it moves in all directions. Yeah, that would probably bring it up to a 5 for me because that, like I said, the whole like we were talking about a second ago, the spatial awareness is not our necessarily our strong suit. So something like that would bring that scoring up for me. I mean, obviously that's gonna take a lot to do, but you know, I don't think we would just casually get that. But you know,
Yeah.
you never know.
Yeah. You never know. But one day we'll know because we'll test it out. Anyways, someone will make Ready Player One. I'm sure it's already. Anyways, so if I don't want to be required to take steps and don't want something on my face, all of those things, because that is a thing. Like I can't wear headbands right now or anything. I'll get a really bad headache. And I can wear some hats, but not for long. Scarves, all that. So that is also a thing to think about for me and my accessibility of that game. But the Wii I don't need to wear anything for, except if I want to wear it around my wrist so I don't send it flying through the air, which I may or may not have done several times. But anyways, pro con, you if I want to play this in bed, then that means that I probably have to have a screen in my room. I have to have a TV in my room, which I'm not. I don't want to have a TV in my room. I've read all these things. I was like, when I get married, I'll never have a TV in my room. We have a TV in our room, so that's fine because it's hooked up all the time, and I can just bleep. Yeah, and then I can either play from my bed and do little things, or I can play sitting up in my bed and do bigger arm motions, or I can stand and do even more. And so I like that. I like that a lot. I feel like this is a very accessible game. So I give this a 5 out of 5 stars. In love. The Nintendo Switch. You do not have to have a screen in your room for. And this is great because sometimes I have to shift around a lot, so I can't just stay in one position to look at a screen. And if I'm lying down because I am not in a place where I can sit up, then I can shift sides and move around, and I can move this around with me because it is a screen. This is the screen. So everything's fine, you know? So as far as accessibility, I would say this is 100 stars out of 5. Also, we have brought Nintendo Switches with us when I was in the hospital. We had the Nintendo Switch. And we also used to have the one that has the remotes on the side that you can take off, and then we could both play. But we found that we were just both playing our own Nintendo Switches and games and things like that. We didn't use that one as much. And you like a bigger screen to do those things with. You wanted to put the Nintendo on the screen. And anyways,
Yeah, I think part of that, like I do enjoy usually playing one on the bigger screen if I can, which is why I did like the regular Switch that I used to have. And then one of the issues I wound up running into was like the Joy-Cons were just trash. And so that was partially why playing in handheld mode was not so fun for me. And so I did wind up actually sticking to yours more for that than my own, because it didn't seem to have the issues that I ran into with mine. And then eventually I just, sold mine anyways. So, but yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for that context and background story. Hopefully, it's added to your experience as a viewer. I would also like to add that if you are like me and you're spending a significant amount of time looking at a screen in life, with your cute little sensitive eyeballs, then maybe you might not want your fun time to also be something that requires a screen. So, in those instances that we still want to have fun but do less screens, then we have these lovely, wonderful things called games, card games, travel games. Now, these things are some of the greatest inventions in the entire world. And you can get them at any Target, Walmart, whatever. Steal them from your friend's house like we did. Just kidding. We bought these. We're not thieves. But these are great because they don't require screens. And you can play them with a friend. Monopoly deal. 10 stars. 10 stars out of 5 stars. You can play with friends. You can play with 2, 3, 4. You can win. You can be amazing. I certainly was at Monopoly deal. When you play regular Monopoly, it causes rifts in the family that will last generations. Not to mention that it is something that will last you days, weeks, years on end. And you always have to have your own family rules. There's always house rules with Monopoly. Monopoly deal, most of those things are gone. It is not you can play a couple games in a day.
Yeah, you can play like you there have been like very short hands so that you can play like probably 5 games within half an hour. Maybe not that much, but basically you can play a lot within a short time.
Yeah. So we highly recommend Monopoly Deal for many, 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 many reasons. One, it doesn't require a screen. Two, you can play it in bed. I have. And everyone just gathers on the bed with me. I don't know. Is that weird? I don't think so. And three, it probably isn't going to cause your family to divide into multi-generational future wars.
Your family, maybe.
I'm sure I'm not alone. Anyways, Rook. Whoa, I dropped that. Okay, Rook. Love this game. I don't actually at the moment remember it. This is an issue with me is I don't have a great working memory or memory really at all. So I have to learn things a lot over and over and over again. So I can't actually remember how to play this game at this moment, but I know I love it.
I think I actually used to play it relatively a lot with my friends and his family, and you have to like create. If I remember correctly, you create books or something like that with certain cards. I can't remember honestly. Like you'd think I would, but I don't remember that much because we did play it quite a bit ish when I hung out there. But then again, that was like 10 plus years ago. So maybe not. But yeah, it was relatively fun. I'd actually like to kind of relearn it again and maybe incorporate it some more because it was fun when I played it.
Yeah. Now, these games are 2 to 5 players. That's great because there's 2 of us. And then if we decide to make friends that week, then we can play 5 players. But if you're one of those people that has many friends, maybe even double digits, like 10 friends, then whoa, how'd you do it, first of all? But second, this is the game for you because Uno is a classic game. And this game says it's 2 to 10 players. I'm pretty sure we've played more people than that. It's anyone from 7 up. So if you have kids or if you have nieces and nephews, brothers and sisters, you can still dominate in a game world. And it'd be fair because it's 7 up, Anyone who's over 7 can play this game. This is one of the best games of all time. I think that's a universal fact. Yeah. Now, with all three of these games, I give them.
Sorry, I have to interrupt. You should have said a universal. Universal.
You're so funny.
Universal.
I, I give that joke a 10 stars out of 5. I give all these games many stars. I love that they can go anywhere. Two people. For us, we're at least usually two people together. And in case you haven't heard from can't talk. In case you haven't heard from any of our other stories or podcasts or videos, sometimes we're in doctor's offices waiting for 4 hours. Sometimes we're in the hospital for days. Sometimes we're in the emergency room for 12 plus hours. I mean, hopefully we're not. Sometimes we're just at home all day and I don't feel like moving. These are the answer, the universal answer to quality of life without movement, without screens, without power. And you can bring them with you to your friend's house. You can bring them with you to the doctor's office. You can bring them with you wherever you go.
I think it's missing from there, but one of our go-tos actually too has been Phase 10. That's one of our favorites. Oh, there it is. Okay. Phase 10. That's like one of the ones that we tend to gravitate towards actually mostly when it's just the two of us, I think. Not that we don't play like you said, I think we do play Uno occasionally, but I do feel like we tend to gravitate more towards Phase 10 and another one that we're about to show you.
Oh yeah, this other one. But first, I wanted to just note I didn't even notice this when I brought this here. Look, it has a rubber band around it because it comes in a box just like these. But apparently the box is gone. I don't know. I probably destroyed it. I'm very rough on my things. We should get traveling cases for these. I bet they have them on Amazon or Etsy.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. Amazon has pretty much everything.
Ooh, maybe I can even craft one. That sounds like a lot of energy. Sounds like something I want to do and will never do. I think I could. Anyways, we should do that. But right now, this is being held together by a rubber band, and it's around there twice. I don't know if you look. It has actually snapped. So it is being held on there by hopes and prayers because at any point this could go, and like 150 cars are just going to be everywhere. Like you see that, right? It's not actually connected anymore. That's dangerous.
Looks like it's getting to get phased out.
That was funny. I'll give that joke 2 stars.
How did the other one get 10 stars and then that one got 2 stars?
The other ones were great. The other one about the Uno, that was great. Anyways, what you were talking about is Catan. This is what we call a board game.
Also, real quick, it's debatable. I think actually I do know what the real name is. I think it's Catan. I could be wrong. That's been our ongoing debate between us two, and we still haven't looked it up apparently. But we just call it Catan just for the sake of argument.
No, I know how to actually say it. I never told you this. Obviously, in case you don't know how to read, it's Catan. The world is full of cat lovers, and so they just went like, Catan. It's like kitten, but in a different language. Catan.
Ha 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 ha.
I know, you give that joke 0 stars. It's not a joke, it's real. Anyways, Catan. I love Catan.
It's 4 players base, and then this is a travel edition, mind you, which we'll talk about more, but for the regular version, you can go up to 6 if you get like the expansion. And I'm not sure if you can combine the expansions, if that's even what you're supposed to do. But if so, then I think that could technically increase your amount of players even more. I don't really know how that works. If you can do that, you probably could, even if it's not supposed to be, whatever the case is. Anyways, but base, at the very least, you're looking at only 4 players, especially with this one, because it's just the travel edition.
Yeah. Now, this, I have a lot of pro-con things, a lot of category. Catan is a great game, but you need to know how to play it. And you can't just bring this out and be like, hey, does everyone want to play Uno? Everyone plays Uno. That is the universal language that they use for peace treaties. But Catan not everyone knows how to play it.
Yeah, and it's not like it's overly complicated. I mean, it's like Monopoly. Once you know how to play Monopoly and you know how to do your strategies for your housing and your mortgages and all that stuff, you got it. But it's like that. Once you know how to play Catan, then it's fine. It's not super crazy.
Right. I think it's easier than Monopoly by far, personally. And my opinions are very highly rated amongst the world. Anyways, so the thing is that everyone needs to know how to play and be on the same page, right? Um, it's a lot of pieces. So this is the Travelers edition right here because we traveled upstairs. So I brought this. And because I want to show you how we bring these places. So would I bring this to a waiting room? No. Would I bring this to a chiropractor's? No. Would I bring this on some of our dates that we've had? Absolutely, we have. We've done dates where we'll go out to eat maybe and then go see a movie, but there's like some time in between, which is good for us, especially if I'm in the car. We might need that time, but if not, then we can sit somewhere, which the restaurant will have a place, but there's a lot of food around. You don't want to ruin Catan with food. But if we've done this where we've gone to the movie theaters and they have tables and stuff, and so we've played and then we go see our movie and it worked out wonderfully. There was no cons. We had a great time. 8,000 stars, would do it again. We have gone to a park, had a picnic, and also taken Catan. And the cards fly away more than Catan does.
Well, so with this one in particular, the cards are so small. Like they're not so, but they're pretty small, and so one, they probably are a little. I mean, cards period are easy to fly away, but like I feel like they're easier to lose. They're easier to rip, and like because they're I don't know. It's just they're small, and so we actually wound up using the regular. We would bring the regular Catan deck with us just for that reason, because it was easier to use that than the smaller ones.
Okay, well, that makes sense. All right, do you want to open it so we can show them some of the pieces? They're just so tiny, and they're literally the cutest thing ever. So if you need a little dopamine hit, then hopefully you're watching this podcast and can look at all the cute little pieces.
So this is one of the things I don't care for as much about the travel edition, is that if you look, the board is made up of kind of like these puzzle pieces almost, which is fine. I mean, but in the end, that kind of limits what you can do as far as the kind of combinations of these, because like these represent your resources while you're playing the game, and so it kind of limits what combination of those you can get, and then the numbers represent the roll of the die, whatever you call them. And so yeah, I thought we actually talked about this the other day. I thought about maybe cutting so that they were the individual resource pieces again, and then just having the border. But then again, if I mess up, I don't want them to be ruined. And I'd have to be very exact so that no matter what, they would fit together. So is it worth it? Probably not. But we did talk about maybe looking online to see if somebody made, because like places like Etsy and stuff, people get super creative. I mean, they make crazy things, and even with the real regular size one, they do crazy things, like they make the pieces like 3D essentially, like they make mountains and pastures like they do in the wheat fields and the brick and stone quarries. It's crazy, like it's amazing. And so I'm sure there's somebody out there who maybe has made something for the travel edition that would be float more my boat, so to speak, to this island.
Wow. Okay. That was cute. Okay, look at how cute and little these cards are. I can barely hold them. Like you can't even see. Are you putting it together?
It's not working, okay? It's just because I think it's partially because the angle that you're holding it at, and so the pieces keep falling. I'm trying, okay? I'm trying to put the island back together.
Are we putting this together? Are we playing it right now?
Wait. No, I was just trying to put it together so they could see.
Okay.
So
You can bring it
that's
closer to
the
the camera.
island put together pretty much. I mean, so yeah, that's essentially it. And then here's the pieces. Oh, there's the cards. Those are, I think, those are like spare cards that it comes with actually. Somewhere in here it has the real deck of cards. Oh, here's some. Yeah. So and it does come with little holders for them. So that's kind of nice. So you see you got your resources, some of them, and then you've got another one that has two more resources, and then there's one that's called development cards. So they let you do some particular things. Hold it this way for me, please. They let you do some particular things to basically build your stuff to advance and all that stuff. And then if you look here, we've got some of the pieces. So this is a city. That's a city. And then this is a town, if I'm correct.
Bring them really close to the camera.
City, town. And this is what you start. Everybody starts with 2, and then you upgrade them to this with particular resources. And then everybody also starts out with 2 roads, and then you build more roads. You can get some things that help you. Basically, the point of the game is to reach a certain amount of what's called victory points. And so things like towns and cities give you those, as well as getting a certain amount of roads and certain types of development cards. All those things can contribute to you getting your victory points. And so, yeah. So it's a pretty fun little strategy game. You can trade with each other. You can try to like reach agreements, so to speak, with people. There's like there's like ports that you can trade. You do have essentially like a bank. Okay, you just made it worse. Thanks.
I'm sorry, I can't hold. It's hurting my wrist. I can't hold it anymore.
Yeah.
But anyways, can you tell that it's our favorite game? Because Robbie just basically told you how to play the entire game. So, I mean, not really. There's so much more to it.
Yeah, there is more to it, but I just gave the gist. So.
Thank you for that summary. Anyways, but like that is basically the thing. So it's not that hard to play. But all these little pieces are hard to lose. I mean, easy to lose. Very easy. But look at that. They have like little pegs in it so that you can play this, which is really great. The whole point is that, no, you don't get to talk anymore about Catan. I'm talking about Catan now. The whole point is that it's pretty accessible as far as bringing it with you places. And that with this one, we've played this one at home because we can put it on the bed and it has the little pegboards so that we're not using the bigger thing and all of those pieces can get lost in our bed. But these ones, they kind of, they sit in the thing. They're still somehow not as easy to lose as the bigger one, it seems. Wait, show them the dice, though. Show them the dice. You have to show them the dice. So as far as mobility, like I have mobility of my fingers. They do hurt. So pulling things and holding this, even though it's very light and it's plastic, I can't really, like my wrist and anyways. But I can do everything with this. Like I have decent precision. To put them in the little pegs, or I can just go, can you put this in the peg for me right here? And I say where to put it. So isn't that cute? And it's cute because then you don't lose the dice because they're in this little thing. But my goodness, have you ever seen cuter, smaller dice? The answer is definitely no. I mean, maybe, but no. I want to talk about my dice.
As an in case, actually not as an in case, but in case, I like to use just dice, period. I put the real ones because I have ones just like those, only black with white dots, and that I have in the real regular size Catan. Did you just drop those? Okay.
I lost one of the dice.
What am I going to do with you? And you want to open this to take these out.
I do.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I want to touch the little baby dice in the little thing. But also, this is really cool and you can do this concept with bigger dice if you can't hold and do the thing. If you can't hold dice, and let them go, which can be a little bit harder for me, then have them in a thing like this, which you can put them in like a plastic cup with some saran wrap and some duct tape or whatever on the top. Then you can just go like this, you just shake it, and then you can see what they land on. I think this is a very accessible idea. They made this probably without necessarily accessibility in mind, but I think this is great. And sometimes we might use these just so that we don't lose the bigger ones. Because I do lose dice and I just throw them and I can't, like, I don't have as much control of where they go, apparently, as other people might. I don't know.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you decide all of a sudden you can throw things, and then you're just like, phew, across the room. I think that was a little dramatic. It's okay. Right in front of you is just fine.
Yeah. Anyways, I love games and they're so much fun. Um, I love winning and I'm really great at it and it makes me happy, especially when sometimes life feels like a whole bunch of losses. Winning a game, it makes up for all of it. Just about. And it's nice because sometimes people can think like, oh, you're staying home so much, it's so depressing and all of these things, but sometimes it is more of a necessity and it doesn't have to be depressing or, nor does it have to be isolating. People can drive to my house and sit on my bed and play these games with me. Either way, we've played a lot of these games and we also keep, we're the, like, playing cards, like just normal playing cards, in our little bag and bring them with us places or just play at home. And there's games that we like to play at home like that. Yeah. So really, the whole moral of the story is to find friends who like to play card games or video games.
Yeah, I was gonna say it does make it nice so that, when you do have friends over, you have something to actually do, and that isn't super crazy for you to do, because more times than not, we're gonna wind up having to have people come see us if we want to do anything remotely like that, versus us go anywhere. I mean, obviously that's our goal, is to shoot for that in the future. But until that does get a little bit better and easier for us, then until that time, it would be mostly people coming to visit us. And it's nice to have something to do like that. I mean, for some of the younger generation like us that doesn't mind playing video games, that's okay. But, board games are like universal pretty much. Like, as long as the adult, I say the older adult is willing to just take a second to learn, it's not super crazy.
Yeah, or like your parents and stuff. They all play not video games, sorry. They all play games and they love those games. In fact, some of those games I feel like I know about them from your family. But anyways,
Yeah.
I would like to say gaming, video games, board games, card games. 5,000 million quadrillion stars. I highly recommend.
So basically, what we're saying is look into those things, find one of those things that you enjoy, and do it. And not just for yourself, but for everyone.
Yeah, so that you can be chronically fun.
We will see you guys next time.